Welcome to Sunday Money with Corey LaJoy.
Hey.
I'll introduce you, then you introduce somebody. We'll go around.
Okay. And my high school friend, Lauren Fox.
Hi. And our producer, Alexa.
She waves.
I feel like we all are friends.
We are. We've bonded a lot. We've bonded through this journey.
We're friends, right? We were friends before, but we're better friends now.
I mean, it just depends how deep of a friend level you want to think we are, but we can talk about that a different day.
You're a race car driver. You're notorious at being all about yourself. You know that song, All About the Bass? NASCAR drivers are all about themselves. And let's talk about the fact that you don't make friends very good in the garage, Corey. Another fight. You had another fight this week with a NASCAR driver.
Are we going to open it up just like that? You haven't even read our sponsors yet.
Another fight. Let's just get into it. That's what I keep getting all these tweets about. People keep tweeting me going, you better ask Corey, what's the problem over there?
Sunday Money is presented by Hercules Tires, No Rods Auto Parts. Because if it wasn't for those partners, we wouldn't be able to race. Actually, we wouldn't be able to podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm just so used to saying that if it wasn't for Schluter Systems and Keen Parts, we wouldn't be able to race, which is true. So thank you for them. We could talk about my face scheme too. We haven't talked about that. It came back with a vengeance and another.
I like that you have the mask on it too.
I wish it would just die a slow, like a fast death and not come back, but it did. All right, Daryl, since you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I mean, I was planning on talking about it anyways, but here we are, right off the bat.
Another fight. I bet you, when you walked in the door, Kelly just shook her head and just said,
no, she doesn't.
Dishes in the sink. I'm going to bed.
No, she doesn't get mad at me like that. She just thinks that it doesn't do me any good to get in a spat. But when somebody insults you, you should stand up for yourself. I mean, that's what it is. I'm not going to just bend over. And I try to be respectful because there are things I would like to respond back. There are several things that I had in the chamber to rifle off that I deleted because it would not be respectful to the people I represent, but it would be very factual to the person I would be responsible.
Here's how it started.
Right. There's a lot of dirt. Hang on. No, because you don't even know the context. So I get done busting my ass. And just like everybody else did for 500 miles. Obviously, you saw Daryl pass out on live TV because everybody was gassed. Ryan Newman, who
Bubba passed out because he was eating McDonald's on the lake. Let's be very clear on that. He wasn't over there at Viva Chicken eating salads or Cava. He was eating McNuggets and French fries on the lake, drinking Trulies, allegedly.
I don't disagree with that. And it obviously came back and bit him in the ass on Sunday. I'm sure he would rather have been eating a chicken salad instead of chicken nuggets from McDonald's. But so it was just a combination of hot and muggy. And the last run of the day was 112 laps. So it was legitimately over an hour of about 150 heart beats per minute of just Daryl, get on a Stairmaster and just keep 155, 160 heart rate for an hour and a half. You wouldn't make it 10 minutes.
Not every driver had that heartbeat.
Yeah, Denny's was lower.
So we'll get there.
Some drivers take their cardio more seriously, Corey.
We'll get there. So I wear this Whoop strap on my wrist. It's kind of fairly new. The software on the app's really good to really see how you sleep, see it, the whole bit. So I posted my heart rate from the race. I started about 45 minutes before the race and ended it fairly close to right after. And I don't want to misquote my stats because they matter in the context of this situation.
I got them right here, buddy. I'm the reporter.
Yeah. So 2,978 calories. A lot of calories. Average heart rate's 148. Max heart rate's 178. 4-hour duration. So I said today was brutal. I'm going to need to eat 27 or 28 Built Bars, little sponsor plug, to make up the difference. I'm minding my own business. I'm walking back. I'm worn out. I'm tired. We literally had a 29th place car, and we finished 27th with it, and we picked ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we drove home. Peanut Gallery chimes in again. He always, I don't know why, he just thinks that if he's sitting in his jet, he has to pick on the little guy. But here he comes again, Denny Hamlin. Screenshots his whoop strap data, which is very erratic, which tells me that it's probably not 100% accurate. And it was 20 beats, or it was on average about 20 beats lower than mine.
This is what Denny's tweet said, Corey. Yeah. No wonder we could never count on you in the fourth quarter. Oh.
So he's referencing to his basketball league, which I didn't even want to go back and pull up stats that we beat his team pretty much every time but one, and I had more buzzer beater shots than anybody else in the league. But he forgets to mention that when he's being petty.
Well, Denny only burned 948 calories. His average heart rate was 109, and his max heart rate was 141. This dude is a fighter pilot. Apparently, his pulse didn't even get up faster than going up the escalator when it's turned off.
So I got a little bit offended when he talked about not counting me in the fourth quarter, because I'd take my fitness serious, and in the basketball league, I was statistically a better player than he was. I don't really know what to argue about that, but
just not in the fourth quarter.
We can pull up the fourth quarter stats. I don't care. But
wait, what kind of stats are they keeping over there for this?
They legitimately keep full-blown NBA stats, field goal percentage, three-point shooting percentage, anything. They literally have people there full-time keeping stats. It's dumb.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So, well, Alexa, this is where it takes a turn.
No. Let me say how I respond. So ultimately,
buddy, if you have to leave in 45 minutes, you can't go on 5 minutes every time you tell a story.
I'm not. I'm saying context. So heart rate is directly related to effort level as well as heat in the race car. So
I'm going to get my coffee. Keep going.
All right, go ahead. So my car was so freaking hot. And my AC, I said later in a different tweet that it's like one of those little fans that you get that sprays water to Six Flags with a little thing. That's how it blows, like barely nothing. So when you're breathing stale air and the cockpit's about 135, 140 degrees, your heart rate's going to get up. But when the guy that's driving a hot rod has a seat blower that cools his back and the legs, he has a body cooler system that costs about 10 grand. It runs Freon through lines in your bodysuit to keep your core temperature down. And helmet fan, I'm sure that my heart rate would be a hell of a lot lower too if I had my core temperature down to 3 or 4 degrees. So it's all relative. And then later, so I said, hey, can we trade cars? Because I wanted to say at the end, can we trade cars? Because it seems like your air conditioning worked a hell of a lot more than mine. But I just said, can we trade cars? And then he went and takes it, as he always does, as a jab at, I don't know, he thinks that I'm just hammering this poor me narrative all the time. And he's reading it from his jet flying back and forth, and from his big motorhome and the big house on a lake. So go ahead and continue the story, Daryl.
Corey said, can we trade cars? That's nice, right? He's just, making a point. And then he said, well, we could, but not sure you're going to get the answers you're hoping for. That's another dig, dude. That's another little poke. He's poking the story there.
I don't know if he thinks that I don't know what he really meant by that, because if he thinks that he can get my car and run it astronomically better than me, he's mistaken. Now, could I jump in his 11 car and have it as successful as a career as he can? I'm not saying that. I would have some success because there are just certain things that good equipment and good people surrounding you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, Daryl, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me.
There's
And
so
Lauren,
many.
there was a lot. Have I ever taken a dig at Denny's driving ability? Once.
No, me and Daryl probably have, but I'm not sure I remember you.
I've always thought that Denny Hamlin's a top 15 guy in natural talent and a natural ability in the sport. I've always said that. I'm not saying anymore because he doesn't deserve any sort of compliment from me because I'm done saying any compliments because
He's tweeting about you last night again. I didn't even see this one. I went to bed.
It was all day yesterday. It was all day. I didn't respond yesterday, but it was all day yesterday. He's got nothing else to do. So continue whatever you want to say, Daryl, and I'll continue to talk about it.
Okay, so I'm sure in Denny land he thought this was just going to be like a funny conversation. Well,
no. He didn't think it was going to be a funny conversation.
You don't think so?
No, he's taking this up personally.
If he comes out and he keeps subtweeting my stuff, why would he think that's going to be just a funny, lighthearted conversation?
Well, I don't know exactly where we went wrong, but Corey responded and said, I thought you knew the old equation, the age-old equation. And do you want to explain that one or no?
Yeah, I said, I thought you knew there's an equation of center of gravity, downforce, horsepower, and I put a $sign for money equals V was the velocity of how fast a car can physically go.
Boy, I can go with my own
a
interpretations of those letters.
I'm sure you did, but that was what I was actually was specific stuff that actually applies to a race car and depends if a race car can run a 32-second lap or a 33-second lap. Now, just like any other sport, Daryl, Steph Curry can shoot a basketball a lot better than the guy that's riding the pine, right? That's fact. He is the best at shooting a basketball. Just like in racing, there are elite drivers who can drive a race car faster than other drivers. Well, I've never argued that. And would I consider myself an elite guy? Never said that. Never have I said that. Never have I said would I have the same success as Denny or Kyle or Jimmy Johnson in that car. Never have I said that. But I personally, and I'm not even speaking for all this is what aggravates me. I'm getting clumped into the pool of drivers who are driving bad cars because they chime in with their opinions, right? And think all the
You're the mayor of the back of the pack, dude. You're the leader.
And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be the voice for the little people. I'm the voice for Corey LaJoie. That's it. Don't try to tag your wagon to my horse. There's nobody else in my car driving it as fast as I am. There's not. So I'm not talking about nobody else but me. Everybody else can chime in their opinions all they want. I'm not knocking the guys who, yes, there is a big difference between the guys who can crank the knob up at the end of the race and win those races. No question. And those guys are obvious in the Cup Series right now. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson. You can even put a guy like Alex Bowman in there. Like, there's the guys that are Brad Keselowski, the guys that surface, those guys are elite. They're driving their cars faster probably than they're capable of driving. But in my opinion, I haven't driven a car that's capable of even running top 15 in my NASCAR career.
I can tell Kelly got to you. I can tell that you had a conversation with Kelly about this, and she told you it's not. Don't get mad. It's not worth it.
Well, she did because she wants my well-being, and it doesn't. If I come off and just start bashing him, I've never bashed his driving ability. Have I bashed the way he handles certain people and relationships? And
roll the tape. You've been on this show for 2 years. Don't act like you're all sitting there prim and proper and polite.
I'm not.
You've definitely bashed people.
I give credit.
That's why we're here, Corey, to keep you grounded. Don't listen to your wife on this one. You need to stand up for yourself as a man.
If anything, Daryl, you get me in trouble for getting me on tangents. That's what you do. So
Me? Oh, no responsibility for yourself. Okay, cool. Cool. You know who gets you fired up? I'll tell you. It's the next tweet, Alexa. This is right where the tea kettle starts whistling a little bit, okay? All right, here we go. Denny said, he just kept going. By the way, he's sitting on his Learjet doing this because, you know, he's sitting there on the jet, and he goes, real pressure begins when you have all that and still don't win. It ain't all about having a fast car, buddy. When a man calls you buddy, that's, look, he's getting the sign right now from the kitchen. She's like, don't you get fired up, Corey LaJoy. Tell her to go on the Peloton and leave you alone for an hour.
No. Well, he said you should go downstairs and jump on the Peloton so you're not involved in the conversation, which I'm doing good so far.
We're getting them fired up, Kelly.
Yeah. So like, all right, this is what, 2 or 3 jabs now at me. And he's not playing around. This is not a lighthearted conversation. Yeah.
Corey kept us cool. He said, totally understand that. If I get a chance, rest assured, Dennis, I'll be ready. Oh, never mind. He wasn't keeping us cool. He went right for it.
No, he already – no, the respect stopped when he started the first tweet when he said that's why they couldn't count me in the fourth quarter. That's when respect was over with.
Now, I'm sure the pilot at this point is saying we're about to take off. Denny, put your phone away. Oh, no, Denny owns the plane. Never mind. So Denny's still sitting there. He could have let it go, but he put one more mean jab at Corey. And he said, I'm rooting for you, Corey, but you're going to have to work on your diet and hydration.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, I just shit on you for the last 20 minutes, but I'm rooting for you, pal. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Work on your diet and hydration.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm about 20 minutes into my 4.5-hour drive back, and this guy's got the balls to say he's rooting for me.
I think him calling out your diet and hydration is more laughable than that. I mean, he has probably been known to have Grey Goose for breakfast. So I just think that is – I don't look at Denny Hamlin as a picture of fitness and health.
So when he said that, I'm like, all right, am I really that out of shape? Because now you start to wonder, am I really that out of shape where this guy was riding around, like – Am I out of shape? Because if I am, I'll get to work. But I feel like my fitness level's decent right now. So I get on Strava, which Matt Kenseth, Jimmy, McDowell, a lot of guys put their stuff on Strava. It's this app where you can catalog your runs or your bike rides, but guys do it for their racing as well. So pull up the stats. I found Jimmy's. I screenshot it, and I was like, oh, would you look at that? We're literally within 2 points on every single one of our metrics. Literally, like line for line, the exact same thing. So I would much rather base myself off of a 7-time champion who's also a good person and doesn't throw shade from his jet on a flight to Atlanta where he could drive it back and forth. But, yeah, when I saw Jimmy's and mine were the exact same, I'm like, okay, I'm good. If I can just get my car a little bit cooler, I probably would feel better after the race. So I posted that, and now he continues for the next 48 hours validating himself because he wants to show every single race fan who has an opinion that Denny Hamlin is what I thought was an interesting hot take. He says Kyle Busch is the best all time, and he says he's okay with being the second best all time. So that's a whole nother conversation for a different day.
But he said he's the second best of all time?
Yeah, he said another tweet. He said that with all that being said, Kyle Busch is probably considered the best all time, and I'm good. I'm okay with being second.
Listen, Lauren, were you watching this all go down?
I watched it on Sunday night, but I didn't pay attention to it yesterday.
Alexa, I did a little day drinking. You know, I was in the pool. I was having a good day, and I said, I'm staying out of this. I'm tired of fighting Corey LaJoy's fights. It's enough. But then I had one more White Claw. And
I need to go on Twitter more.
If I didn't need to get involved for my buddy, because I knew he's driving his little self back there in his Lincoln. Probably his hands are still blistered from the fire wheel. Yeah, exactly. So I just decided to get involved, and I said, Denny, would you finish higher in Corey's car than he does? Be honest. Because I knew he'd bite. Of course he's going to bite. He's not going to just sit there.
Of course he's going to bite.
And he said, are you saying we are equal? Oh, he keeps going. Strap in, kids. I'm asking. I said, I ignored his. I said, I'm just asking. I know what Corey thinks, so I want to know what you think. Do you honestly think you'd be getting better finishes than he does in his car? Yes or no? No way Denny was going to answer that one. He was not taking the bait. Corey, you knew he wasn't going to answer it, right?
I can't figure out how somebody like that thinks, because in my opinion, if he legitimately thinks that he can jump in a car that's legitimately a 29th to 30th place car, if he's that delusional and thinks he can take it to a top 10 car, then there's nothing that you can say to that guy that's going to show him which way it is. And I point,
yeah.
And I'm just looking at facts. You can pick three guys now. Kurt Busch is a NASCAR champion, drove for James Finch, that had Hendrick cars and Hendrick engines. And I was looking at it yesterday just because I kind of wanted to see. And his average finish for Finch was 24 and a half. Right? That's where he finished. He had some good runs, had some bad runs, stuff broke. Very close to the situation that I'm in, minus he had a little bit better engine package than I did. And my average finish right now is 23rd. So not saying that I'm not even saying that I'm capable as Kurt Busch, but when it comes to getting a little bit more out of your race car, that's what I'm asked as a race car driver to do. And if I wasn't doing that, then I wouldn't have the opportunities that I've had. I wouldn't be able to stick around like I have been. So he just takes everything. He just wants to elevate himself on the platform to keep himself up there and keep everybody down. That's just what it is, man.
Well, back in Big Rand's day, did you get the high time? What'd you say? Good job, Corey.
Isn't there other things to talk about? Which there is other things to talk about.
Kelly, you stay out of this. What does she think's going to happen? Denny's going to be mad at you again? He's already mad at you.
No, I don't care if Denny's mad at me. I absolutely do not care. But
what would she prefer we talk about, since she doesn't want us to talk about this?
No, I think that everybody.
That's our job as wives, is to keep our husbands in check. Make sure that they're not saying anything stupid.
Yeah, and I'm very guilty of saying things where I've inserted my foot directly into my mouth. But I'm not just going to sit back and let some guy think that he's infinitely better than me. I'm man enough to admit that Denny Hamlin is a damn good race car driver. And I feel like in the same situation and around the same people, I think I could probably get close. There are guys that have been in my position in the back that are in the grind that I don't think could be in those situations and get the job done. I don't speak for those guys. I don't. I only talk about my position and where I'm at. That's just what it is.
Let me just be honest with you, man, because you always ask me to be honest with you. And, I've already tried to quit the show like 5 times and you guys won't let me. Nobody. Yeah.
We're done now. You can leave.
I tried. I tried to quit 4 times. Nobody cares about a humble race car driver. I don't know where the wives got this idea, or the management or the owners. Maybe it was all Joe Gibbs' fault about not being too braggy. Nobody cares about a humble race car driver. Denny should have said, hell yeah, I'd finish better than him. That's what Rusty Wallace would have said. That's what Cale would have said. That's what Dale Earnhardt would have said. We have this weird era of drivers where everybody's humble and polite and praise Jesus, and that's all great. But humble is not what you want out of your athletes. Michael Jordan wasn't humble. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Joe Montana. These guys would say, hell yeah, I'd smoke that dude. Put me in his seat. I'd get 10 more spots. That's what he should have said.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And one of the things that people like about you, Corey, is you are outspoken and you have said, I'm better than this. Give me a shot and I'll show you. while everybody else is saying, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm trying my best. And Denny even referenced that. He said, I've driven in shit cars and I kept my mouth shut and worked hard.
When did he drive a bad car?
We'll get to that. But he didn't answer my question. I asked him, would you do better in Corey's car? He said, never driven it, so can't speculate. I've driven shit cars before. I kept working. I didn't complain about what I didn't have. Think of it like this. Would Corey outrun me in mine? What's that answer? So he wouldn't answer.
And here's my point to that. And I'm almost kind of over talking about it, but we'll talk about it.
What's so great about it, Corey, is it spawned a lot of other conversations. Brad Keselowski got involved. Other drivers came out of the woodwork to talk about it.
Talk about that. We'll talk about that after the break, because that came out of left field and wasn't relative to the conversation whatsoever. And I've got my theory on why he said that. Here's my nobody can dance with your wife as good as you can, knowing her, right? Like I can dance with my 32 car. I know how it ebbs and flows. I know how the race works. I know how to not give up time to the leaders when I'm getting lapped. Like, there is a unique way of racing when you're in the back of the pack. Would it take me some time to learn how to compete for wins against the best of the best in the business? Absolutely. And I couldn't dance with whatever flavor of the week he has as good as he could, right? So that's where I'm at. Like, he knows how to race with his race team and his race car in that position better than I do right now, because we're in we're in the same race running two different races. It would take him a little bit. He would figure it out because he's a capable race car driver. He would figure out how to make my 32 car finish the best that it's capable of doing. And I would eventually figure out how to make his 11 car finish the best it's capable of doing. Now, to say that Denny is not a talented enough race car driver to figure out how to make any race car go fast, that would just be asinine, because he's proven that he can get the job done, right? J.J. Yaley, I like the guy, had that opportunity laid out on a silver platter for him. He couldn't get the job done. Denny Hamlin came in, little experience, smashed the gas, won some races, and he's made a 15-year super successful career at it. So you can't knock the guy. The guy's a good race car driver. But him throwing shade at me is doing nothing. I got to stand up for myself. But him throwing shade at me, I probably got 25 texts on the way back last night from big people. Like, what is his deal? Does he not realize how dumb he looks? I'll bring up the analogy again, like I had a couple weeks ago when he was trying to throw shade at me for the iRace and stuff. It's like the pitcher that's on making the most money in the league, playing for the best team, picking on the guy playing right field for the Oakland A's, the bottom of the list, right? Not in the playoffs, making league minimum. That's literally the best player in the league playing for the best player for the best team, picking on the guy that's not even a factor. So I don't get what it is, but I'm not going to just bend over and let him subtweet and think that it doesn't irritate me, because it does.
I love NASCAR again. This is great.
I mean, I'm not in a position where I was mad enough to where I would have punched him in the nose. I really would have. I
love this. I love this version of you. This is the version I will wear your shirt if you turn into that driver. And I don't wear driver shirts, but I'll do it for you, Corey.
You can't be that guy when you can't back it up competitively because of the stuff that you're handicapped with, right? Nobody likes the asshole driver that runs 27.
You're going to be in the 48 next year.
You got to be the nice guy. What?
You're going to be in the 48 next year. Start acting like it.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm on the list, but I'm not at the top of the list. But
well, to close out the Denny thing, Denny said, one thing is for sure. You can't just say if you had this or that, you'd for sure win. That's just disrespectful to how hard it is to win in this sport. The best drivers in history who genuinely have the best equipment win 7 to 9% of the time. Corey he was like, that's enough. I'm done with it. He said, yeah, okay, I agree with you in this instance. I was just asking to trade, referencing my scolding hot interior. Corey's a peaceful man. He's like, enough. I got to 4-hour drive. Now it's 3.5 hours. Yeah, I just was saying my car was hot. Good night, sir. But it didn't.
That's literally what it was. But he took it like I said he's not capable of driving a race car. That's never been it, never has been it. And I obviously know that there are elite drivers. There are A drivers, B drivers, and C drivers, and all the way down to Fs, right? Do I think that there are some C guys in A cars? Yes. Are there some A minus guys, B plus guys in F cars? Yes, there are. But you just can't assume because somebody drives in the back every week that they are not as capable. I've always said, man, there is a guy driving a street stock somewhere in BFE, Iowa, that can jump in and be the best race car driver of all time, but we'd never know because he doesn't get the opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
We'll be back after the break. And we're back. This is part 2 of the Denny Hamlin, Corey LaJoie story. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, so everything was quiet for about 10 minutes, Lauren. About 10 minutes of quiet. And Josh Williams, I don't know, he just was like, this is a great opportunity. And this is where Corey doesn't really always agree. Whether he knows it or not, you're a leader. And you're a leader because you have defended yourself. That's it. I know you don't speak for everybody, but you've defended yourself. And there's probably other drivers that feel like, hey, we don't get the TV time. We don't get the sponsor opportunities. We don't, this is an uphill battle. Well, Josh Williams came out of the woodwork and said, just now
explain who Josh Williams is. Like, he's a kid that's been grinding, been running ARCA for a while. He's been driving the 92 Xfinity car and overperforms quite often. So he runs between 9th and 14th and does a good job.
He's a kid with a dream.
Yep.
And he said, just now seeing the Corey and Denny deal, and man, I'm just saying, if you swap the 32 and the 11, they are still going to finish in the same spot, no matter if it's Corey or Denny that's driving them. It's just how it is. The big teams run in the top 10, and the little teams run in the 15 to 20th. Now, Lauren, have we heard that story before? Who said that before?
I've never said the same spot. I've always said give or take 3 to 5 positions because
Agreed.
He doesn't know how to race. Like I just said it earlier in the show, he doesn't know how to race the race I have to, and I don't know how to turn the wick up on the last restart when you're second row inside, right? Like there's a little bit of fluff there with positions. I wouldn't say the exact same spot, but speed-wise, that car, if the guy's driving that car to its maximum capability, it's going to run the same speed.
Well, this could go on all day. We'll try to wrap it up for you. Basically, Denny responded instantly. I believe this completely disrespects guys that go out there and win. You're insinuating that the car is 100% of the car's performance, and it's just not the case. I'm not talking about running good. Good equipment can make you do that. It's the driver that makes you win.
Agreed. And you get that experience. You become that driver with experience. Denny Hamlin has been driving a top-tier race car driver since Corey and I were dicking around in PE class.
Well, easy now. My wife listens to the show. We've never dicked around.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No, we have not.
So listen, to set the scene, Denny's somewhere above the sky in his Learjet. Corey is now an hour from home. Josh Williams, who knows where he is.
Oh, Denny was home at this point. That's a 30-minute plane ride.
Brad Keselowski jumps into the fight. Simple answer here, and like in most businesses, the team owners have figured it out. Take any position on the team and divide it by the total income of the team. The answer you get is the importance of any given part or person measured in a percentage. For example, if a team has an income of $1 million and pays the driver $100K, they value that driver at 10% of the team's performance. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, I responded with that I didn't agree as well. Now, I'm sure that if he was able to elaborate on that, he probably has some good points, right? But you can only assume so much in 140 characters. That's a problem with Twitter. You can't figure out sarcasm. You can't figure out tone or flexion. That's why Twitter sucks so bad, but it's also addicting at the same time. If he would explain a little bit more in depth with what he considers income or revenue, he said revenue. If you factor in the racing expense, like a team like mine is literally running for whatever money can come in the door, right? They're selling $1,000 sponsorships for a lower quarter panel. And relatively speaking, our primary sponsorships are something that would get a sticker about the size of a silver dollar on one of the bigger teams, right? Like we had a really cool scheme this weekend with Built Bar. It's a protein bar company. Hopefully everybody can go buy some Built Bars. And, you know, the attraction of our team is that somebody with a small budget can get a lot more bang for their buck and be in the same thing, and that doesn't have the budget of a FedEx. So when it comes to driver salaries, I thought it was very odd, the timing of that tweet, because it wasn't relative to the conversation whatsoever that we were talking about. And Brad is right in the middle of this free agent market, and he's probably the most sought after free agent today. And I think that, I don't know, if he thinks that he's dead set on a certain number and he's worth X, I don't know if teams are willing to pay that right now, especially with everything going on with the pandemic and sponsors backing up their spend. And he's going to be you see it with a lot of drivers taking big haircuts. You've seen it with, right? Ryan Newman's not making the same. Now, is his value to his team
pay cuts?
Worth,
Pay cuts.
Pay cuts.
You said haircuts.
Yeah, haircuts. I mean, that's just.
Well, you do need a haircut. I mean, that's off topic, but you and Daryl need a haircut.
I've never cut my hair.
You've never heard Daryl. You're taking a haircut next negotiation.
Corey, we didn't grow up on the same farm, my friend. There are tall buildings where I grew up.
In racing terminology, that's just, hey, Ryan Newman's taking he took a haircut from going from RCR to Roush, right? Clint Boyer every year goes to the barber. He's taking a haircut until he finally gets his hair cut all the way off and he goes to TV. That's what's going to happen, right? Like, you're getting a haircut. Mm-hmm. Brad is going to be taking a haircut, whether he thinks so or not. He thinks, and also the percentage of he thinks what it values to a race team, it all comes down to leverage, right? And if you don't have any leverage, if you're not bringing any sponsorship dollars with you, you have no negotiating leverage, which ultimately is how you get more money. And right now the teams have a lot more leverage than the drivers, because they're going to just point the finger at a guy like Alex Bowman or a guy like Matt DiBenedetto, who are making less than $1 million in salary. Meanwhile, he's making over $8 million in salary. And it's like, okay, I don't see, I'll give you win some races and you're a champion, but that's a big difference. 8 million to 800,000. That's a big difference, especially in today's world with sponsors as hard to come by as they are. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not worth it. Brad's a great race car driver. He's a champion, but I don't know if that equation is going to work out in his favor when he comes to finding a deal.
Well, we're living in different times now. The sport is in a different place than when Brad entered it, 8 years ago? I mean, at the cup level, I don't know. But, I mean, it's a completely different place.
Besides that, I responded to him and asked him about pay to drive, and he did not want to talk about that. These premier drivers pretend that pay to drive doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen a whole lot in Cup. So there's some guys that bring sponsorship to the table, but that's not the difference. And
we want to talk about the grandchildren. Should we just start there about the rich grandchildren that are bringing money?
No, don't go after Pop.
No, because I like both those guys.
Like there's not premier drivers that bring family money.
There is, but it's not more than 7 in the Cup Series. Now in the Xfinity Series,
40 cars.
We'll talk about let's talk about that in a different show. But
well, I have a solution to all this.
Oh, please let me hear it.
Daryl.
Lauren, do you want to know my solution to fix all this?
I do.
Okay. If you want to be a football player, they invite you to a tryout and you play in front of scouts. If you want to be a basketball player, they fly in all the scouts to watch everybody play, and they go, that guy with the high hair, He's good. Let's offer him some money. And then the next scout over goes, no. We're going to offer him some money. And they fight over the people. Ford, Chevy, Toyota should bring a bunch of cars. All the drivers should have to try out each year. And the best drivers get to go to the best teams. And it's a tryout. And by the way, everybody's going to watch the tryouts. And it's all going to be blank cars, no sponsors. Let's see where they finish. And we'll bid on the drivers. And congratulations, Corey. You're driving this car because you smoked everybody at the tryouts. That's what I want to see.
Well, there used to be something like that. It's not completely like unprecedented to do that. Roush did that, called it the Gong Show. They had Discovery did a TV show with it, and they had 10, 12 guys, and they literally had a tryout. How good you were speaking to the media, how good you were relaying information on how the car drove, and then your actual speed, and they do head-to-head races, and it was actually an interesting show. And that's ultimately how David Reagan had his whole career. That's how he was found out. Now, a couple of the guys that won the Gong Show didn't pan out. So I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I mean, but yeah, that would be cool to see, no doubt, with having some sort of workout to see how physically strong, how your VO2 max is, what you're capable of. And obviously speed in the race car would be pretty cool to see too. But
even if it doesn't determine the car you drive, I think it would be pretty interesting. And then you could just like rank them.
And you would get a fair shot.
Yeah, I'd be down for that, but it's never going to happen because the loudest voices are the ones that are up here, right? Those are the ones that have any sort of pull in the sport. So if there's anything that's going to elevate the guys at the bottom who will do it for cheaper and who can maybe eventually learn to contend for wins and championships, they don't want that to happen because then that's taking fuel out of the jet. That's taking fuel out of the Newell bus. That's taking half the payroll of his, the 10 people that are working for him away. That doesn't happen. So I don't know, man. I'm just going to keep doing my deal. I do want to give a shout out though. We could talk about my scheme this week came back. The face car, Old Spice is now that we use the face scheme, the infamous face scheme from the Daytona 500 is back for Martinsville with a twist. It's got a mask on the front. Keen Parts is a longtime supporter of Go Fast, and they always have some fun with their paint scheme. So this was really my fault. I take the blame for this because I was in a meeting with Archie, and I kind of threw it out as a joke, like, yeah, it'd be fun if we do the face car with a mask on it. And I kind of saw his wheels spinning, and then I didn't really hear anything back until I saw the wrap on the car, and I'm like, oh my God. Now, look at what I did to myself. Now, I think it's going to get a lot of good publicity. It'll get a lot of good publicity for Keen Parts. It's Tom Keen's birthday today, so happy birthday, Tom. So, hey, if that's what it takes to get the 32 car on TV, we got to do oddball stuff like that, I'm down for it.
Is there anything you wanted to tell us about the race? I mean, there wasn't much to say, right?
It was a pretty uneventful race. Man, Atlanta is so wore out. And Mr. Atlanta won again, Kevin Harvick. So that's where we're at. Going to Martinsville this week. The weather doesn't look great. Hopefully that holds off and we can get it in. Rolling off 25th. I love Martinsville. We finished 18th there in the fall last year, so hopefully we can catch some breaks and stay on the lead lap and have a good day.
That's pretty good, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You excited for this night race then?
Oh, yeah. Good point. First night race ever in Martinsville besides the late model race they had there last year. And they can – I don't know if anybody's seen it. They can flicker the lights on and off and make it do all sorts of cool stuff with the LED lights. It looks badass. So everybody tune in Wednesday night for Martinsville. I just hate that all these Wednesday night shows are getting impacted by weather some form or fashion. So it's hard to get an actual read on what the viewership numbers are.
It looks like rain again.
That's what I said earlier. That's what I just said. Yeah.
Yep. Lauren, is there any other questions you have for our Corey LaJoie? He's going to overthink this the whole day. So maybe leave him with something nice because he's going to get off here and think he said something horrible, but he didn't.
I don't know.
I can already see your gears are grinding, Corey. You're like,
Dude, they've been grinding since Sunday night because I just when you poke at my fitness level, which is something I take a lot of pride in and put a lot of effort towards, as well as my driving ability. That's my livelihood, and that's my job. So when you poke at those two things, obviously I'm going to defend myself, and hopefully I get in a position where I can race the shit out of Denny Hamlin each and every week, and I will make his life a living hell. And if he doesn't expect me to be the hardest car to pass in the field each and every week when he comes to lap me, he's definitely mistaken. So when he either needs to move me out of the way because he's going to have a hard time passing that 32 car on Wednesday night. I can promise you that.
But if you see him in Martinsville, which you will, I mean, if you guys happen to walk past each other, are you going to give him a nod? Are you going to ignore him? Are you going to say, dude, just leave me alone? What happened?
I'll call him by his 5 names he's got. James Allen, Dennis Hamlin IV. Obviously, he's a little bit sensitive about that too. So I might just call him Jimmy.
We got a couple great reviews. I know you got to get out of here, Corey. Real Talk, Sunny Woke. This would be a 5-star podcast if you replaced Mott with Hamlin. Until then, it remains at 4 stars. Well, all right. There's an idea. Busted Kev. Thanks, guys, for the awesome podcast. I appreciate that Lauren and Daryl don't stroke Corey's ego because he's a driver, like some other
stroking here.
Like some other podcasts we know. I do so sincerely appreciate how candid and down-to-earth Corey is. Nothing cookie-cutter about that guy. Please continue to be that way, even when you get a top-tier ride, which you will. Also, what's up with Denny Hamlin? Lost a lot of respect for him lately. Why is he always on Corey? I think he totally forgot about his humble beginnings. Love the podcast from Logic. Love the mix of personalities you bring each week. Corey, please block Denny. Let him focus on his own personal life and getting that back together instead of.
I'm not going to block him. He can see my stuff all he wants.
Who posted the Go Team Burton? We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty. That's so funny because I've been getting so many of those calls lately.
Yeah.
Maybe your car is up for warranty with your fuel pump, Corey.
We got that figured out. Hopefully it doesn't, knock on wood. Hopefully it stays together.
Coffee, come here.
Well, what did we learn today? We learned that you're going to go out there and just do what you do every week. You're going to give it your best, Corey. And hopefully you'll have time for a few Peloton workouts and maybe some yoga to just keep that fitness at top level.
Come here.
I don't know. Maybe I should start doing Pilates like Denny does, and I'll be in a little better shape.
Well, you know, we have to be fair, right? We can't just like make stuff up. I do want to just say that right before we leave, there was one last tweet to Josh Wise. And Denny said, do you have an extra monitor? I've never seen crazy numbers like Corey or Jimmy's. I've done it different ways, and it's pretty consistent. So apparently, in the new day, he is still thinking like maybe his numbers are off.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm doing my deal. I'm doing my job. I'm talking about it. I'm standing up for myself. And I'm going to go to Martinsville and be a hellion to everybody around me.
Go give him hell, number 32.
Yeah.
Guys, we can't forget about Clutch Coffee. We have to choose a Clutch Performer of the Week.
Go for it. Who's reading it this week?
Denny Hamlin is my Clutch Performer of the Week.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
I want to give the Clutch Performer of the Week to whoever sits forward at Denny Hamlin's basketball games and takes stats. I think that's the real performer.
Yeah.
Corey, who do you want to pick? I thought Suarez did a really good job on TV.
Yeah. I don't think he gets this. I don't think he gets the.
I mean, it's got to be Kevin Harvick. He came in and
I got a new phone. I don't have the read.
Here, I'll do it.
We'll give it to Kevin Harvick. Closer's back.
We didn't sound that excited about it.
I mean, it's kind of like, all right, Kevin Harvick's a 2-time champion and really good race.
Clutch Performer of the Week is brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina. I found it. You can order Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com. We enthusiastically picked Kevin Harvick.
Woohoo!
Congrats.
Why did we pick him? Because he won the race?
No, how about AJ Allmendinger? That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Hasn't
Sorry,
been in an Xfinity car in years, Lauren.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. Good job, AJ.
Allmendinger.
You want to earn your money and read the O'Reilly read, Corey?
No, because I got to go. You read it. I got to get off right now.
What?
No,
Tell
you
us-
have to read it first.
Who?
You, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better price.
Every day. Rewards. Rewards.
It's Rewards bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today for store-wide savings, plus earn double Rewards points on all sale items like wiper blades, motor oil, tools, accessories, and more. Not an Rewards member yet? Sign up today online or in store and take advantage of bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's fast, easy, and free, but hurry. Double points are only available for a limited time. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices, every day. You can find Lauren Fox on Facebook Marketplace with her latest pallet purchase.
I haven't done any more lately.
Poppy says you have.
All right. Hey, I got to go. Great show.
Me too.
Wait, we want to say bye to Kelly.
She's over there.
I see somebody right there.
Kelly's mom. That's Nancy.
Oh, Kelly's mom, even better.
Hi, Kelly's mom.
Hello.
All right.
Bye.
This
Hey,
is a
good
family
show.
show.
That was fun.
Corey, don't
Stay
forget to
tuned.
plug the podcast on the radio.
I will.
Twice.
I got you, dog.
Once at the front, once at the end, okay?
Yes, I got it. Yes.
Later.